going to do 3 videos on filleting, incorrect and proper techniques, and then local axis. So we'll do the first one that is incorrect. Some of the biggest problems with CAD software in general is people not really understanding filleting. I'm going to do a fillet where the most common error I see in CAD, whether it be SolidWorks 360, Fusion 360, or whatever CAD software you're using, and they all have the same issues. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new part. I'll just go to 3D and just make sure we'll get into a nice clean part here where I haven't done anything, and we'll make the part body the in-work object. I'm going to go to the XY plane, and if you recall when you get into the sketch, X is going down, horizontal for some reason goes down. You hit normal to view twice to set that to something that you would recognize as normal. And I'm going to create a rectangle starting here, and then if I just tab to the height, it'll automatically and the width, change those to 10. It will automatically throw in the dimensions as well. The part is not green because it has not been established any datums. I'm going to select this. Whoops, I accidentally shifted it. Let me undo to put that back. Grab this line and hold the control button and grab this line, and then we're going to use the dialog box to anchor this down properly. Okay, and then if that's 10 by 10, when I go to create my pad, I'm going to go 10 inches high. I'll just leave this in that orientation, that's fine. I could have reversed it. I'm more concerned about showing you fillets. So if you go to the directions, it says create a cuboid 10 by 10 by 10, then do the fillets 1 inch on the top. So there is a command right here called I'm going to switch to model, see if I see that there. Under refine, you'll see fillets and chamfers. So this top one here is the fillet, and I'll just go ahead and click right here. That's a 1 inch fillet. Okay, and now I'm going to do the 2 inch fillets. So when I grabbed the top surface, it grabbed all 4 boundaries at once instead of grabbing all one at a time. When I grab fillets again, I can change this one. I missed. I didn't get the edge. I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to try it again. It's like this. I'm going to make sure it says edge when I click. That one edge, I want that to be 2 inches. Because it said 1 inch along the top, right? And 2 inches. Select OK, and it's going to give me an error message. Okay? So, when I go to view this and shade this with edges, I'll do hidden lines too, just so you can see what's going on. You're going to get this ribbon computation error, and what's going on is this corner is not correct. So I want you to make a picture of this error message, and the reason why you got the error message is because you have to do vertical fillets and or larger fillets first. Okay, so vertical fillets and or larger fillets first. Honestly, it's mostly about the big fillets because that's how I would have to machine it in most cases. You have to machine out your biggest fillet before you could do the smaller fillet, and it would have an error in the shop trying to do it. It also has an error when you're trying to do it on the computer. It's just not a natural thing. That corner does not look like a nice transition. Okay, so this is not the goal I would be going for. I wouldn't want that sharp point like that. I did want to show you something else though. Did you notice how I missed that one fillet? The most common error I see is people will go to review, refine, fillet, and they grab this back edge here, and then they add another fillet. Well, look how many fillets I have in the tree. It doesn't make sense. Why would you have fillet here on the top and a fillet here for 3 and then a different fillet for the other one? All 4 should be in the same group, correct? So I'll close that error and I'll delete this one. And I'll double click this fillet and grab this edge and select OK, and see how I added that to the same thing. It didn't help me with the error though. So what I see most groups back in the day, they're told to do one fillet at a time. Whoops. One fillet at a time. And you're going to keep getting that error. But I'm just going to do that. Oh, I got the face. So I'm just doing one at a time here. And what I like about using the hidden lines, I don't have to rotate the part. It'll go right through, except I got the bottom and I didn't mean to grab the bottom. Okay? But, see, I still have that error. It didn't fix anything, but look at my tree. Look how messy it got. This is a little tiny part. Look how confusing the tree's getting already. Okay? So the reason why people are told to do them all one at a time is because if I want to remove one, it won't affect the others. Which is true. I can remove one at a time and it doesn't affect the others. But if I went to fillet and grabbed all four at once, dang it, I didn't mean, I was trying to grab the edge and I missed. I'm going to try and grab all four edges at once. Having the hidden lines up so you go right through the part to grab. Oh, I got the face again. Anyways, yeah, no, I guess I gotta do this. Just be careful to make sure you're grabbing the edges. I like to let the word edge come up and then say okay. Sometimes I rush myself. So the reason why people are told to do them separate is because they were told you can't delete them. But if you just double click on this, you can select any highlighted edge and deactivate it. And then I still have just the one tree in the branch. Okay? So you can deactivate it and you can add them back. It's not a problem. Just reactivate it. So anytime you want to change anything on CATIA, the trick is to double click. Okay, but that didn't take away my problem. I still have a problem. So this is no good. I do want you to make a picture of this one with the error message and how to fix it. Okay? We're going to do this again the correct way. So let's delete out the fillets. To do this the correct way, we've already got the block, so we don't need to recreate that. Remember I did the top one first? Well, let's grab the bottom one first. I'm going to grab just the four vertical edges. Now, when I grab, the most common mistake I see is people want this one to be 1 and they type 1 right now. But if you type 1 right now, 3 of them will be 2 and one of them, the last one you selected, will be a 1-inch radius. So you got to select the top face first and then change it to 1 after you've picked that. Hit preview. Oh, you see what it did there? Select OK. It doesn't like that, so I'm going to go back and redo that using fillet again at 2 inches. I'm just going to grab that back wall first. Oh, I didn't mean to. So I'm going to go 2 inches and say OK. And then I'm going to go to fillet and select that face and go 1 inch. Alright. And now look at the difference in this corner. This transition is much smoother. I don't have that sharp point on these corners. Okay, so this is the correct technique with 2 fillets. Alright, I'm going to do one more. I'll delete out those fillets and I'm going to show you a single fillet in the branch by using variable fillets. So I'm going to select this edge here and we'll go at 2 inches, and you'll notice it's going from top to bottom. Oops. Remember, you can double click at any time to change that. Active radius should be 2, and I'll hit preview. And now I'll grab this edge, and this edge, and this edge. And all 4 will be 2 inches. Now I want to get, you can't grab the face, you have to grab an edge. But if I type in 1 right now, it'll change these to 1. So I got to grab the edge first, and then change that edge on the top to 1. I'll preview it just to see. See how you can, it's hard to see them, but if I zoom in, you see how this radius is at 1 inch and the other one remained at 2. So now I could just grab all the edges. Got to be careful not to get the face, get the edge. I'm just trying to be careful, grab all 4 edges and select OK with those being 1 inch. This tree is kind of messy looking, but I just got to minimize that, and I have that all in one variable fillet. Okay. I accidentally turned my part on or off, so I just selected the vertical one and 3 to reactivate that. Okay, so this is how you do it all in one step. So I'll do that again, but at a specific location. So we're going to learn how to create things in XYZ coordinates. So I'll create a new part, and I'm going to, this is why you default to geometrical set, because I got to create a point, and the point I have to create is based on this last exercise we're doing: a single fillet, station 25, left buttock line 10, and water line 50. This is known at Boeing as aircraft coordinates, but aircraft coordinates actually came from maritime. These coordinates are actually from a ship. So ships use station lines to represent forward and aft, and left buttock line, or BL, means buttock line. L stands for left. So if you're sitting in your car or in a boat, when you look forward, the left side would be the passenger side typically, and the boat has a driver's seat on the right side. Water line is obviously the water line going up and down. So BL is buttock line, and that's right down the center. RBL is everything on the right side of the boat. LBL is everything on the left side of the boat. So if I were drawing the steering wheel, you're actually facing, everything's on the, you're facing the local axis system. The local axis system is pointing directly at you. So everything on the positive Y would be on the right side of the boat. Everything in the negative Y would be on the left side of the boat. So therefore, these coordinates would indicate 25 for X, negative 10 for Y, and 50 for the Z. So we'll learn more about that. Right now we're just going to learn how to place axis system on specific coordinates. So again, I activate points to create a point first, and again we said station 25. Y is negative 10 for buttock line on the left side. Notice it's going towards the left side, and the Y would be on the positive side because XZ plane is right down the center. So everything going on the left side of the plane is going to go left of that axis. And then Z was 50, I think. So when I hit preview and say OK, it's way off in no man's land, right? So I got to do this view, fit all in to find this point, which is off in no man's land somewhere. It's so hard to find, right? It's way up here. Okay, so again, what I would do is I'm going to delete the point and recreate it, and then I'm going to do a fit all in. It should bring the axis right back up to where it was, so I'm nice and close on the axis. And we go to create a point. Those coordinates are remembered, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to view and fit all in first, So I can see where that point is. Now I know where that point is, so I select OK. And then I can use Essentials to find this axis system. On the axis system, I'm going to select this point. And that point is going to be called a local axis. This is where I build my part. So I'm always building, in most companies, you're going to build in reference to wherever the part really is in its true XYZ coordinates. So when they overlay them into an assembly, it just lands where they want them to land. So I'm going to select OK. And what I'll do immediately is open up the axis and hide the absolute axis. And then I could do a fit all in. And then it's just like working on a local axis system. Okay, except, or it's like working on the absolute axis, except that we're working on this new local axis in its true XYZ coordinates, which in this case was station 25, left buttock line 10, waterline 50. So everybody uses XYZ coordinates. They might call them something different, but it's XYZ coordinates. We work on a 3-axis system. Now that I have a point and an axis, when you do that fit all in, it just zooms up on your axis there. I would rename this right away to the local axis system. And I use underscore because it has a hard time reading the name if there's a space in there, so I use an underscore to make it look like there's a space even though there's no space. Alright, so this time I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to select this and then go to the sketch. And remember, I hit normal to view twice. Slide this down. Okay, and I'm going to create that rectangle again. Come up to the width 10, tab over to the height at 10. Oh, dang it. See, I have my axis on the wrong side, or my cursor on the wrong side, so it jumped the wrong way. So I got to move this over here. So when I go to change the width, I'm going to be in the positive direction and the height in the positive direction. I'll do a fit all in so I can just see everything. Now I've been having you create the datums on the lines, but a lot of times the purpose of having the local axis is to put it on the H and the V. So this H and this V actually represent our datums. The H is datum, or the X is on typically datum A, and Y is typically datum B. So what we'll do here is go to contact this line to this H. And what it does is it puts in the constraints a coincident. And that coincident is renamed to datum A. Okay, it's datum dash A dash. The dashes represent a datum. So we'll do one more contact. Contact this line to this line. That is your datum B. So I'm going to rename that. I hit the up arrow on my keyboard because it remembers the last thing I typed, and then I can just edit the A to a B, so I'm consistent in my typing. Okay, and now I have a datum A and B. I don't know why sometimes it shifts and sometimes it doesn't, but the main thing is I got my datum A and datum B identified. Okay, we got a 10 by 10, and I used contact, and that's the more common technique, is to contact it to a local axis. And the reason why I contact it is, if I don't contact and I just work on that corner, I might get myself situated where I wanted this line to be the datum, and I won't be able to change it. Okay, so if you wanted to, I could delete this datum and make this the datum by doing a contact from here to here, and then I'd be working on that side. I don't want to do that, so hopefully I can undo and put that back the way it was. And for some reason during my undo, it shifts the datum B up here. Alright, I can tell that this is fully constrained and a closed profile. What? Constrained, is hiding over here. it's constrained and it's a closed profile. So all that's good to go. I can exit out of this and make my pad. Oh no, I got that error message. Whoops, what happened? 10. Okay, so I know length, width, and height are all 10, and then the problem is telling you, hey, in your geometrical set, you got a sketch, and in your part body, you got a sketch, and it ain't gonna like that. Sooner or later, you're gonna get into trouble, and it's not gonna let you modify it. We got really small parts, so it's not an issue, but once you start getting into a big part with lots of features, then it becomes an issue, and then there's no fixing it. So you got to take care of this right off the get-go, build good habits, and build it correctly in the first place. All right, one more time. Can you build the fillets like I did without the video? I'm going to go ahead and do it. See if you can beat me. Again, I did all the vertical fillets first, that are the larger fillets. Oops, I hit enter on accident. I want to switch this to variable fillet. Grab that edge, make sure to get the edges. Grab this edge, that's 1 inch. 1 inch, I'll hit tab, grab that edge. Again, it would behoove you to be patient, wait for it to actually say edge, select OK. And that is what the final part should look like. All these fillets could be changed to different radiuses. Okay. That's all I should have in the tree, is one pad, one fillet, one sketch, no sketch in the geometrical set, but a point representing my station, buttock line, and water line. And that would be the third picture for creating a single fillet on the local axis. I want a message picture describing the warning on the first demo. What was the proper technique? When you do the second, list the proper technique. And how did I get everything in the single fillet? That is worth 20 points. Alright, hopefully this helps you out. Good luck with this exercise.